Started using felt tip pens and never went back because the ballpoint pens are really spotty and ugh, and they get clogged easily. Yeah, there's a few slugs back there. A few slugs, a few more wrecks. Unless the slug is like literally right there and you don't have to climb up or anything to get it. Otherwise, I don't really want to bother. Any pen that produces particles can be hazardous in space. I don't think many pens produce particles though. Like that's the reasoning for not using pencils, isn't it? Because the graphite, right? Was that a thing? Ink particles. I mean, I don't know if a felt tip pen would do that or not. I'm not sure. It could be that a felt tip pen would just bleed like hell in space. I'm not sure. What types of pens are okay in space? Felt tips need gravity to push ink down. Well, I think the felt, like the ballpoint pens, yeah. And then there's just a little ball that rotates, and as you push and move, the little ball rotates and some ink gets carried along with it. But the felt tip pens, I think the logic is that the felt would sort of absorb some of the ink, and it's just like a little bit of a sponge. I'm not really sure. I know that they do have pressurized pens for space. That was a big thing. Because then people are always like, America spent millions making a pressurized pen. Russia just used a pencil. Lol, 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 lol. But I'm not sure Russia actually used a pencil because a pencil is a stupid idea in the space station. Gonna need rods next. They didn't. Yeah, I wouldn't think so. That's just some shit that people say to sound smart, but they actually don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Reddit in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not a fan of Reddit, if you didn't know. That's, oof. People like to pretend that it's different than Facebook and all that stuff, but it's like, it's still social media. It's still just a lot of imbeciles with a big megaphone saying whatever the hell they want. Why does it wrap around like that? Ah, stop wrapping around like that. Wah. In such a way that you don't clip through stuff, ideally. It is an absolute shitload of oil, but it's a pure node, so it's like I may as well just take it all. So all these belts is just from one, and I think there might be 2 other pure ones out there if I end up needing it. Which I know I will at some point probably, and I dread doing this line again. It's a bit of a problem with this starting area that I've got. it really tricks you, and it's like, okay, you need to find some iron. Oh, look, there's a bunch of iron over here, and you're like, oh yeah, okay, I'll take that iron. I need iron. But what it doesn't tell you is there's fuck all for anything else, because you can't scan for anything else at the time, so you have no idea. You just know, I need iron. There's a bunch of iron. Let's get that. Ugh. At some point, we're gonna have to start moving these up a lot. Although, I guess I could go up the ramp. We'll just have him go up the ramp. I'm sure it'll be fine. What did I just get rid of? Didn't I just deconstruct this pole? I think I see it. I think I got rid of this top stacker. No? No. No, that's fine. We're still powered? Yeah, we're still powered. I don't know. Unless you don't have some subreddits you enjoy, you know, there is not as much bullshit, then Reddit will make you pluck your eyes out. You'd rather spend your time on Facebook then. Unless you don't have some subreddits you enjoy. So if you have some subreddits you enjoy and know there's... Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, like, it's kind of cool if you just follow a couple subreddits, and I'm sure it's maybe possibly fun, because there are some really niche ones that are really cool, and it's just like a little community type thing. And that's generally fine, but like, Reddit as a whole, especially since it's like, take a look at all these cool hot topics, and this is what people are talking about. This is the front page of the internet. We're a cool news source. Then it's like, Jesus Christ, it's fucking awful. Like, hey, let me just link you a news source from like some biz.co website that I just made with some incredibly fake article and some bogus sources. And I'll put that on the front page, and because people can't be bothered to actually read for 10 seconds, they'll just be like, wow, that's such a true thing. Or sometimes it'll even just be a post that's like, they don't even have anything sourced. They're just like, I read an article that said this and this and this. Why is this and this and this? Like, I think there's something about one that was like, Jagex or whatever, who makes RuneScape or whatever, or is remaking RuneScape. I'm not really even entirely sure. They make this much money, but the developers don't get nearly that much. Why is that? And people were just like shitting on Jagex as a terrible company because of that. Is this even true? Do we even know? Does it even matter? Is it so bad that the people who created the company get more money than the people simply working in said company? Because the people who created the company are the ones who took the big risk? Like, isn't that just how things work? Why is this suddenly bad? Have a small Reddit you visit for people getting together and making alcohol. No, 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 no. Yes, for just absolute nonsense. It's... Yeah, I mean, that's the other hand, too, because, like, just a wild example. I know it's a real subreddit, but I don't know shit about it. But, like, a woodworking subreddit or something. And it's like you'd have these people with really bullshit, stupid advice that's completely wrong, but you have no idea. It's like, well, they're on the subreddit. They must know what they're talking about, right? Fucking nope. But it's before Reddit, that was always kind of the case with forums too and all that. It's like you never really know. If you've got a problem and you need a solution, it's an okay place to go if you just need some ideas, but it's nothing that you actually take to heart and commit on. But I think a lot of people kind of overestimate or maybe underestimate the power of the internet and sort of take it for granted maybe by just assuming that, well, there's a lot of people and they're saying this and this guy's got a lot of upvotes and he said this, he must be right. But there's no truth at all to that. It isn't necessarily the case. It's just a dude who said something and got a bunch of upvotes from presumably other people, but maybe bots. Mistrust everything always. Be suspicious at least. Like, it's okay to be suspicious and call somebody out and be like, could you provide proof or more evidence of? But I never see people doing that. And sometimes somebody will say something and I'll be like, you know, do you have a source for that? Or where can I find more information on it? And they get defensive. Like, why don't you just fucking trust me? Why do you think I'm lying to you? Well, because you're just some random asshole on the internet. I don't... It's like it's a bad thing to ask that nowadays. I see that sometimes also, if you're just Googling a problem. If you're Googling a problem and it's from an old forum post, right? And it's exactly what your problem is, but the solution is a little bit ambiguous and you want to ask for more, but you know that you get yelled at for necroing a thread. How is it necroing a thread and why is that a problem? It's a relevant issue that still exists and it's a major Google research search result. And you just get yelled at and kicked by the moderators for resurrecting an old post. Excuse me for revitalizing some conversation on your old ass website. Oh, I hate that so much. And then there's, of course, Stack Overflow, which is the dumbest idea for a website ever. You're going to ask a question, you're going to get an answer, and then nobody's allowed to ask this question again ever. But the answer doesn't quite work. Nope, it's the answer. That's the answer. People said that that's the answer. That must work. That must be how it is. Also, why are you trying to do it this way, you fucking imbecile? Here's the correct way to do it. But I wanted to do it this way. Ugh. Straight up. I'd like it to be off on the side a little bit. You could see about going up the left side maybe. Something like that. So then I'll have the belt on the left and then the power on the right. Is anybody keeping track of how many iron plates I've spent doing this? I thought we'd be out of rods by now, but actually we don't really use any of those doing this. I'm out of plates again. Searching things by popular opinion and pretending its objective is wrong and one of the biggest problems with Reddit. I don't entirely follow Kermit. I think generally just having the default experience be look at what's most popular currently is sort of a bad way of doing it. You'd have to be able to place that pretty tightly. Because you can spread a lot of misinformation really quickly that way. People eat shit up. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Not concrete. I keep going to concrete. I don't need concrete. Concrete's not the problem. Not anymore. On the plus side, having been doing all of this, we should have a pretty okay amount of motors finally. So there's that. Hello, Lothian. How you doing? More upvotes equals objectively right is deceptive. Yes. That's a bit like what I was saying, where it's like you get an answer and it's, oh, it's got a bunch of upvotes, so it must be right. There's actually nothing to that at all. It's just like some massive assumption. Winding down after stream yourself, I'm doing pretty okay. A little bit bored of the oh my god, look at it. It's a massive wall. A little bit bored of doing this. I've spent like an hour so far just doing this. This is typically what I would do off camera, but I can't really do much else right now. I'm waiting for stuff to be built. Oh man, what were you streaming? Were you streaming some of this? You know, that'll have to be fine. It looks a bit odd, but we'll have to just deal with that. Although I could do like, what, 2 or 3 of these things next to each other and just like spiral up or something wild like that, or maybe even... No, I'd have to, oh god. If I was to use the vertical things, they'd have to merge together to go up a vertical thing. And then split again. Nah, fuck that. We're doing it this way. Never mind. That just sounds awful. Kerbal Space Program. Nice. I streamed a bit of that a while back when my internet was still pretty poop. Generally a good time, but you run into a little bit of really odd backseating in that. Like, really odd backseating. Roughly? Sort of. But I don't actually want this ladder all the way up there like that, so I'm gonna rip this down and we'll just pretend it's mounted onto the side of the platform. Yes? Yes. That's what we're doing. It's really well connected there. It's attached and welded and stuff. It's super secure. Just pretend. Ugh, God. You can pet animals in Thor Fortress now. Ooh. I'm sure that'll go completely fine. Ooh. Too long. Man. It's also going to kind of clip through the foundation, I think, a little bit. I might have to have this all come up one more. Yeah. Ugh. Patience. Running out. Can't. But. How far along are you in Kerbal Space Program? Like you doing career or sandbox or? Because I think for me, I did the Mun stuff first. And then I went to Min-Miss because I didn't want to do Min-Miss first, even though Min-Miss is significantly easier. And that's about it, actually. Didn't get very far. Off camera, I've done a bit better, though. Off camera, I started going to... one of the moons with a V at the start of its name, I think. It was like Vilu or Vinmus or something. I don't remember. It was around one of those planets that had just a shitload of moons, I think. Val. Could be. Career this safe, did the initial run, Minmus probe science gain. Now I want to go to playstations around them. I never really got around to doing a proper space station in that. It's one of those things where it's like I don't really know how to start. Like you get a satellite up with the thing that you would, I guess, just undock. And this has like a habitat area for Kerbins. Or Kerbals, rather, and it's like power generation, and I don't, like, is there enough stuff to put on to actually have, like, a cool science station that actually does anything, or is it mostly just for, like, existing to put ores into after mining and, like, a refueling station? Two functions, science and fuel. Right. You get more science out of the stations than by bringing the experiments back home. Okay. So you'd head out, so it'd have, okay. So you would like dock up with it or just, well, I guess you could transmit wirelessly, but you would lose a portion of that and that may not be worth it then. So you'd have to fly out, do your stuff, come back, dock at the space station, and then transmit your station through the space station, I guess? Because you'd probably lose a lot transmitting just directly to your planet. Not concrete. Probably lose like a huge portion of the science transmitting all the way back to your planet. But from the space station, not so much then? You need to dock the experiments at the station to get the full effect. Okay. I mean, you could probably have like just a 2-in-1 type thing, because I don't think there's so many science modules and requirements to have said modules that you'd have to have this massive sprawling, like, you wouldn't be making something like the ISS or anything like that. It would just be, you know, just a few science modules and like a little living habitat area and power generation. Hello, Rebecca. How you doing? Also, Panda Man, how you doing? What? Career mission can request station with certain criteria. If it's just you, science module plus tons of refueling capabilities is all you want at the stations. Yeah, I mean, there's just, like I said, there's just not that many modules, I think. It's just a little bit lacking in that regard for anything really cool and awesome. So I think that might be why I never really bothered, because I would typically just be playing sandbox, so sending a Kerbal out there and having him never return is sort of fine. So I'd never really need to refuel. He just has to get to the planet. And so you just slingshot around something, go way out there, adjust your orbit until you finally hit, and there you go. I could see, though, in career mode, because you also have the time limit for contracts, too, a little bit, so necessarily waiting for, like, a millennia for the stars to align so you can get a proper slingshot's not really an option, so you'd be spending the extra fuel to just make do with what you got. Is that okay if I do it like this? No, it isn't. Okay. Kerbal Space Program mods are also something I should look at. Like a life support mod. That'd be a bit of a game changer. We're almost back. This is gonna be the best VOD ever to watch on YouTube. I can't wait to see the comments. Those of you watching the YouTube VOD who are still tuned in, let me know. Leave a comment. Jesus Christ. Why are you here? Is there really nothing better for you to be doing right now? That's gonna clip horribly, right? Yeah, that's not gonna be good. Okay. Where did that one go? That belt's gone. Oh, man. A lot of materials. All because the starting spot that this gives you is a bit assy. And I guess I'll keep the poles on this side. You can come out. Yeah, we'll just do it like that, I think. Bypass you completely, so it's on the right the entire time. That'll be fine. How's my sanity? Did that answer your question? What is this? Satisfactory. First-person factorial, building a factory, and that's really about it. Mine up minerals, turn them into stuff. Turn the stuff into other stuff, which turns into other stuff. This in particular is me moving an absolute shitload of oil from really far away because I didn't have any nearby, because this map is just, it just does that. I guess that's just what it does. It tricks you with like really cool early iron, but nothing else is nearby. Nothing at all. It's pretty poop, but yeah, well. Alright, were we bringing this anyway? Do we even know? Did I ever decide? Like I could have like a little oil refinery area here, I guess. There's still a bit of room for it. We could go for that. Tentatively at the end of this ramp, then. Hello, Blazing Ted. Well, you've missed mostly just this. I found oil. Oh no. And people ask me why I do stuff off camera, because they feel like they miss out on stuff. This is it. This is the type of stuff you miss out on. It's like when I was doing Fallout 4, making the settlement. It took like 3 hours to do, and I uploaded that as an unlisted video and linked to it. Like nobody watched it, but it's there. God, that took ages to do. The snapping of Fallout 4 was so bad. I still don't really like that game. I don't want to play it. Every time I think about it, typically like after I beat a game, I get that feeling of, oh man, I kind of want to play it again and do it this way. Just, I don't know why. Just the thought of maybe playing the game again and re-experiencing stuff is like a cool thing, I guess. But I didn't get that with Fallout 4. And I still don't have that with the Fallout 4. I beat it and I was like, okay, it's over. Now what? It's just, there's no real reason for me to want to replay it. Like, I'd rather much sooner play Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas again before I play Fallout 4. I could probably have you actually up. Yeah. We'll bring it up and then we'll jump over the road. We'll take a bit of a shortcut. New Vegas and the older ones making a character with one intelligence is amazing. Really difficult, but the fact that you could is phenomenal. I tried to do that with Atom RPG because I thought, you know, I'd at least check it out for like a really quick mini-series type thing with just like a really low intelligence character. But the game just straight up tells you like there's no way that this person would be recruited by this company and sent on this task with these stats. Remake it. Like, it doesn't even let you try. Your stats have to be like a minimum 3 or something like that in order for you to be able to start the game, which I think is fucking stupid. Because with the other Fallout games, it's like, it sucks to send you. You're the Vault's only hope, though. Please do this. And I like to pretend they sort of do that, like, kind of hoping you would die so they could be rid of your dumbass. Whee! Yeah, we'll have you start dropping here. I only had it up high so it could go over the road and we could still potentially drive beneath it later on if I ever want to get a vehicle going again or something. I don't know. Can you ride the belt? Yes, you can. These are really slow belts, so they're not very fun to ride, but... Currently not moving at all. And you can stand on the side if you want to stop. So that's kind of cool. The upgraded belt, these are just the Mark 1 belt, because I had to make so much and they're the cheapest ones to do. The other belts go a lot faster and they send you flying pretty fast. So if you're looking for like a fast travel road type thing, you just like throw it on some Mark 3 belts or even Mark 4 belts. God, I can't imagine. Just go flying. That's too long, right? No, okay. Ah, finally out of rods. Mark 4 belts are Sonic speed. Yeah, I can imagine. Well, actually, I can't. I can't imagine that. Those would be so fast because the Mark 3 belts are already like ridiculously quick. Where do I got a Mark 3 belt around here? Do I have like a Mark 3 belt that I can actually ride? That's a Mark 2 belt there. That's also Mark 2. Or is this Mark 3? That might be a Mark 3 belt there. But this is a Mark 3. Like, I can't even go against it. It's too quick. It's so fast. And then you can go with the Mark 4 later on, and I'm assuming it's at least twice as fast because that's how it's been doing it. Okay, so I was thinking somewhere around here. So we'll do another stack, and then we'll leave it, because at some point this is going to be going inside of a building. Probably splitting off beforehand, actually, because I can't really feed 4 belts into a building like this. Hey. Hey there, little guy. Turn you into a crystal to overclock stuff and make it all go faster. Nice. Alright. So let's take a trip along it. Now that it's finally done. Oh, and yeah, I think I can get maybe a tractor beneath that. That might be alright. Can I actually just make a truck? No. Nor a tractor. I don't have the stuff for it. 2 frames and 5 batons. I was gonna just drive to the front of this. I guess I'll grab you real quick too, because you're like kind of right there. Oops. Floor's too steep. I will find that perfect pixel. Come on. Oh, fine. Can't quite nerd pull up it. Alright. So these it is then. Oh, whoops, wrong one. Come here, slug. That's a yellow one, too. Double the overclock. Oh, come on, I'm so close enough. Game, just give it to me. Let's go. Don't be like that. Not triple by chance? Nah, it's only a double one. I think it's, what one's the triple? Like purple, I think, is a triple one. And I've had a purple one that I think I sent over to research, so I need another purple one to be able to actually get anything out of it. But I'll take a double, because that's, I already had, I think, 2 power cells made up. And then I just got 1 and 2, so that's 5 more power cells that I've got, which is quite nice. Wasn't purple 5? It could be. I'm not sure. I think somebody maybe said that, but I thought it was 3. So, building-wise, cutting into, what are you, limestone or iron? Limestone. Okay, that's fine. I can live without that. Could go for sort of L-shaped thing. I don't know what I'd put back there, but I don't know, maybe I use it. Maybe it could be the doorway. That'd work out. Leffler did. Oh, okay. Yeah, Leffler tends to be pretty alright. He tends to know what he's talking about. My belt line for oil is about 4,200 plates. Jesus Christ, you've been keeping count. Dang, that's a lot. Okay, let's scoot this pole a bit. The road system gets a little bit confusing here. I don't know what to make of this little area. I guess I could fill it in. And then these will split off. Maybe? I'm not really sure. A full section is 108-ish per... A full section is 108-ish, 25 per line with 4 lines and 2 apiece for each stacker 4 high. Oh, man. Hello, Dansai. Got any plans for the weekend? I'm flying over to Germany this weekend. Flight is tomorrow. I'll be there Sunday. And then I'm back to streaming and stuff throughout the week. Because nobody's taking vacation quite then. That'll be happening later on for the marriage. What about you, Dansai? You got anything planned?
Months hype.
Capio, 5 months. Congrats and welcome. 1 more month and you get a promotion. You'll be one of the very few with that. I don't remember if anybody's got that or not. 6 months. Not sure. Oh, why do you gotta be sticking through like that, huh? Why? Why do you do this? Well. So this is a nice entryway, I guess, into the building, which is probably not big enough, but we can always expand outward more. Let's see what I can do with this, though, because I need... the refinery? Yeah, you're huge as shit. But I can maybe merge some of these belts. Depends what your input is like. Fucking hell. Plastic, fuel, and rubber. Yeah, they each take 8 seconds. Ugh. Ugh. Alright. So I might have to go with single windows then. Which is actually okay. Because let's take these out, get the spacing right of the wall first. I think I know how I can do this. We'll have the stackers between the windows and it'll just turn off as we go across. So we could have another one. There. Oh, I can't afford to need the concrete. Okay. But like you could go in. You could go in. Ish. I'd like it to be up one more. And then the other two going. So they'll be fed in nicely. And I can maybe, I don't know, squeeze it in. We'll see. Do I have family in Germany? Heading down tonight with some girlfriends. Heading into the town tonight with some girlfriends. Ah. I am getting married there. And I'll hopefully be able to stay. Because I got the marriage in the... just about a month. A bit less than. It's like 3 weeks. And then end of August, I've got the language exam. But everything else is set up. Oh man, how annoying is that? Yeah, well. We'll see how this is. I might need to bring this out another one. Because I think these are just a little too fat. They take up like 1.5, so I think by the time we get down to the very end here, it'll be too much. All right. Kind of hate the way you're doing this. Yeah, it's too close to the wall. It matters to me, okay? It just does. A little further out even. Okay. Went to the USA once from Denmark. There's a 17-hour flight. Yeah, it might be close to 18 hours grand total. The flight itself into Germany, I think, is like 12 or maybe 13 or something like that. And then I've got a short flight for a layover. It's long. Have a safe trip. Looking forward to seeing me stream from there. Bud's calling and you must sleep. Alright, Ezra Die, thanks for stopping in. Have a good night. Language exam won't help in the Bavarian region. Yeah, I've been warned about that. Okay, that's connecting with those belts over there. But I want you to be... Kat, you're just... This is too big. I can't see. Okay. So this is as far in the corner as I can go. So bring you out a few tiles to give the belts a little bit of wiggle room. But even then, I don't know. If I tell you fuel, like 37.5 per minute, 60 crude oil you take in, or 60 per minute takes you 8 seconds to make, so you'd have to get 8 in 8 seconds, so you need to be slightly overclocked, because you need to be getting in 64 per minute, right? Am I doing that right? Which would mean that the belts would technically merge, because these belts can't feed it fast enough then for that. But oh well. For the moment, one of these belts fully saturates it, and it still won't even connect up. Man, fucking Windows. Wanting to buy left and right windows, because I don't want to be using these things and having all these open spots everywhere. Or like a window cover that I could at least put in, because that's like perfect if I use a double window. I'd like to not, but I might not have a choice. So that's basically straight in. And power-wise, you can connect up, but you will be a nice fancy power pole. A Mark II one. So then that way you get 7 connections. Still have 4 spare. Good night, KPO. Played a good bit of Factorial. Large numbers and formulas for efficient usage is a lot easier for you now, like actual floor planning and designs too. One heck of a drug, that game. Very addicting, and it helps if you actually care about that stuff. I typically don't. But, yeah, it's one of those things. Thanks, Dansai. Do I speak some German then? How do I feel about moving to another country? Am I nervous? What about all your personal stuff and stuff? I'm not nervous at all. Looking forward to it. I enjoyed Germany greatly. I speak a bit of German, but I understand German more than I speak it, and I understand written a lot easier than I understand verbal. But getting there. It should be enough for the A1 exam at least, which is what I'm going for.